crafters, Camilla here, and today I would like to share with you something special. 2 fun Easter shaker cards. I love making shaker cards. It is a little tedious to make them, it certainly teaches you patience, or it is a short road to losing your temper. But nonetheless, I think you will all agree with me that the result is super fun and very unique. The card I'm showing here is the card I made for the first time, and during this tutorial I'll show you how to make 2 different cards, and also making your own background using some masking tape and distress inks. I think the quickest way to making your own striped, in this case, background is simply cutting your masking tape in strips using a paper trimmer. Then all you have to do really is to adhere the strips into your card piece in a random order and go over it with your blending tool. If you want the stripes on your background to be even, just cut your strips of masking tape even length. One thing to be careful about is to not go with your blending tool over the strips of masking tape over to another color. So what I do here is just use some scrap paper and put it underneath and above the middle stripes to avoid going onto the different color. You can also use your wet wipe to wipe off the ink on the masking tape to avoid mixing the colors. With recently doing a lot of masking, I discovered that the best way to not rip your paper is to pull your masking tape to the top and slowly move it. Every time you feel resistance, slow down, and then the paper should not rip. For the sentiment, I'll be using Lawn Fawn Happy Easter stamp set. It has all these cute images of bunnies, a chick, a few eggs, and all spring kind of Eastery images, as well as inspired by Stamping stamp set that this is the stamp set I won in the last competition. I will be using one of the flower images from that stamp set. I think it's really beautiful, and the images of flowers are something I needed for a long while. I was actually missing a stamp set with just the flowers, all kinds of nice images of flowers which I could color in. So I'm very happy with this one. For the stamping the images, I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black because I will be doing some coloring on the bunnies with crayons, just colored pencils, and on the flower I'll be using my Pro Marker in 2 yellow colors. And for the eggs, I'll be using my Memento markers. I will not be doing any spectacular coloring. I'm just using 2 shades of yellow for the daffodil and 4 colors for the eggs. I wanted to leave the bunnies white, so I just added a little bit of shading using my gray colored pencil, as well as pink for the nose and ears. And that's the finished images. I will now fussy cut them and then continue putting together the card. Here are a few other backgrounds I've made. You can also see I stamped a few of the jelly beans up the top and the daisy. Somehow this year I started associating Easter with pastel colors. I don't know why, but I kind of thought that it felt right. But I'll be making one card in pastels and one with a little stronger colors for those of you who don't like the pastel colors that much. Now I'm adhering the background I've made onto the card base, and I'll be preparing the shaker. As you can see, it took me a while picking the right background and shaker colors, but I finally decided to go with these two. Now I'm gonna put together the shaker. I'm using the acetate from a German online shop, Kartenkunst. And I'm using Tambo Mono liquid glue to adhere the acetate to my frame. I don't know about you guys, but the acetate I bought is very thick, and I couldn't really run it through my die cutting machine because everything around the shape was breaking, so I just cut it with my scissors. The foam adhesive I'm using on the shaker is the Circle Foam Adhesives by Recollections. The circle dies I used was Nelly's Multi-Frames, and the scallop piece is by Cart Us. After I removed all the backing from the foam tape, I'm adding all the colorful jelly beans and eggs in the middle of my shaker, and I will place the top of the shaker onto the scallop. I think that's the easiest way to just adjust where you're putting the front. And I'm just putting my card together. I'm gonna adhere a few daffodils and a daisy and a little bunny, and then stamp the sentiment Happy Easter using VersaFine Onyx Black ink, which gives very crisp impression. I'm using double-sided tape to adhere all the images. Here comes the sentiment, as well as a few tulips that I decided to put underneath the sentiment. And that is the almost finished card. I will also add a few brush strokes of the Wink Stellar in the middle of the flowers and on top of the tulips, along with glossy accents. I hope you like the result. For the second card with some more vibrant colors. Here I will also be adding a shaker, but instead inside I will be adding those tiny beads, all kinds of colors, pink, yellow, some orange and blue. I decided to make this card vertical since the other one was horizontal, and I'm now adding the scallop, and I skipped the whole process of putting the foam tape, and here's the result. The shaker looks great. I love all the tiny little colorful beads inside, very Eastery. And I was toying around with the idea of putting the bunny on it, but then I just decided to go with those colorful little eggs and putting the sentiment underneath the shaker. I also forgot that I added a little bow on the top using a double-sided tape. The sentiment I'm using is Happy Easter. I do not remember the brand of the stamp. I had it in my stash for a while, and I'll be also using VersaFine ink to stamp the image. You will see that the first time I stamped it, the impression was not perfect. Excuse my head, when I realigned the image to stamp it again. To finish off the card, I added some Wink Stellar in certain areas on the eggs, as well as the glossy accents. And that was all for today. Thank you very much for visiting me, and also I wanted to give a warm thank you to those of you who subscribed to my channel. First, like if you liked today's cards, and stay tuned for a new video coming soon. Once again, thank you for stopping by, and take care. See you soon. Bye!